the right to lash out at anyone else. And I feel like this is such an important message because in my own personal movie, I've seen a lot of humans go into fear when they feel.
Continuing on with embodying our light, 11:23:15.
You deserve it because, you have everything going for you and I don't. No, actually, we never really have an aligned right to treat others this way. I would say we all have free will. Every one of us listening today knows that we've probably had times where we were psychos that, flipped out on somebody. And there's probably been times we've had someone do that to us. But that's the old holographic reality. And if we want to shift that, if we want to move into this new earth vibration of love, of light, of holding that space of oneness in the unified field, we need to be very clear and transparent. And we need to let ourselves be vulnerable. We need to have a lot of compassion for ourselves, be very gentle with ourselves. But we also need to drop all the bullshit that distracts us from actually living authentically. We cannot any longer blame anybody out there for our problems, because that is, in essence, you taking that path to the old school 3D reality of victimization, martyrdom, and it is not going to serve any of you. And so I'm just going to boldly state that you never have a right to lash out at anyone. Really, you have free will to do it, but do you really have the right? Meaning, if I choose as a vibrational being, a free sovereign being of love and light that is in my alignment, would I ever choose to do that if I'm in a state of love and light? No, you would not. But when you go into this energy of fearful, frantic human that feels like they are not getting their share, someone's took something, there's not enough, they have to get their place in the world. What I loved is William actually made a reference of, I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he was talking about people when they're like that, they're like chickens and their heads just buried in the dirt and they're just pecking and they're just trying to get, what they can. And they can't even comprehend an eagle, but the eagle is soaring above and it's seeing that perspective. And an eagle, like I consider myself to be in an expanded visionary state where I can observe and love all of humanity and I can have compassion for all. I see where they are. I understand why the chickens are living like fearful, frantic chickens. They're running around, they're pecking at the ground, they're trying to get their share. They're pecking each other in the head. They can't see anything further than themselves because they're so inwardly focused on what's in it for me, where's my share, everyone's always mean to me, I'm a victim, I have no power. And so they race around like fearful, frantic little chickens. And if you've ever seen how chickens are, I used to have chickens, they really aren't very intelligently connected to like much further than themselves. And if you leave them in a space very long, they basically will destroy the earth there. They will take everything. They will pillage that land until there's nothing left and they will pick it dry. And I really look at humanity and is this what we want to be? Because when I watch humans that are in their ego, meaning misaligned sense of self, that fearful, frantic, egoic human that is just racing around, trying to get fame, trying to get popularity, trying to get their share, little regard to the wholeness, little regard, like you cannot, if you're in your alignment, you cannot be kind to one while being hateful to another. That is not alignment. So if your energy is like, oh, I'm going to be very complimentary and helpful to this one while being hateful to that one as an approach to get to them, you're out of alignment. So in essence, we need to realize that energy will never save us. It's never going to help us feel better. It's going to actually cause a lot of drama and trauma and pain and suffering, unless it's happening to an eagle. And an eagle will just observe that, like, wow, I see exactly where you are, but you're not going to activate me because I will not participate in that behavior. And so part of what I see is like this whole analogy of chickens and eagles is, imagine that those eagles, first of all, don't want to hunt you because in real life, eagles will take chickens down every now and then. But let's imagine that eagle vision is like your angelic self being activated. So as you're embodying your divinity, your higher self is descending into your human body, your vessel. You can activate this frequency within of such love and such light that you really understand what Christ consciousness is. It is about unconditional love. It is unity consciousness. It really is seeing from like a hive consciousness of how all choices affect the whole. And so that consciousness will be very discerning of where it will flow, where it will move, based on the alignment or misalignment of the ones around it. And so really being an eagle vision is a very powerful, empowered place to be. And it's what, like in our heart chakra workshop that we just had, I talk about being in the higher heart as opposed to the human heart, meaning human heart's what's in it for me. I like you, I don't like you. It's very opinionated. It's very fearful. It's small. It doesn't let many in. It's very picky. And there's that human part of us, and it's here. And we need to integrate these two energies, not deny the human aspect of self, but to allow the dissension of higher self, angelic self, to come into the vessel, activates your higher heart, your lion heart. And that is where I feel humanity is ready to go. And if you guys all are listening, if you really think about it, deep inside of yourself, you feel that truth. You can feel that, yeah, Tanya, I want to feel good. I want to feel empowered. I want to feel like I'm one with everyone. I want to feel loved and respected and supported. And I want to give that to others. And maybe right now I'm so afraid and I feel like I'm not much because deep down I've got that deep soul trauma wound that most of humanity is healing at this moment, which is I'm not enough. And it's a bullshit story I've been fed from my childhood till now. And so what do I choose to do about that? Do I choose to keep going to those who feed me more bullshit and just hang out with more chickens and peck each other's heads just to feel safe? Like, hey, let's all hang out together, even though we're all crazy. Let's do that. I would really encourage you to pause and to go inward and really contemplate what shifts you need to make so that you empower yourself, so that you can show up with one face to the world every moment. You're not having all these different faces and masks you wear in public so that you're acting one way around mom, another way around your coworkers, and you act another way around your wife or your husband. You want to show up authentically, because if you go back to some of the shows I've talked about, being authentic is the path to joy and happiness and fulfillment. And if we're not living our lives authentically and we're in a state of lostness, and we're just seeking to get the approval out there, we want the people to accept us out there, you are forever enslaved in that. And it's like waking up from the movie The Matrix, where you wake up and realize, oh shit, like I did not have to be in that Matrix so-called reality where I'm just marching around without thinking about stuff, without really feeling and contemplating my choices. I feel like this is the ultimate thing. I'm not an anti-religious person, but I was brought up in religion. I was brought up in Baptist churches with a lot of hypocrites surrounding me, people that were preaching to me all the time while acting completely different when they weren't up there, in their fun Sunday outfit. And I just observed it all, and I saw how lost they were, and I saw how, I've had people try to sell me Mormonism and sell me Jehovah's Witness. They come to my door, and I just observe them. And I really look at how fearful they are and that they're afraid of the world ending, and they want more people in their gang so that they'll feel safe, safety in numbers. But people, it doesn't matter how many people you get to join your club. It doesn't matter if that club is a church or that club is a political party or that club is some terrorist group or that club is your mom's club being little bitches to the other moms that you don't welcome in, or the country club where you're all superior to the ones that you think don't belong to, aren't worthy of coming in. It's all bullshit, and it's all time to be shed. I feel like deep down, every one of you know the games. Every one of us have played them or been, kind of played in them. And it is not necessary. And really, when we can shake all that off and we can come back to loving self, we won't be enslaved in any way, because nothing will seduce us again. When a soul is truly liberated and truly empowered, they're awake and aware, and they observe it all, and nothing can buy them. Nothing can, seduce or shackle them. Doesn't that sound awesome when you really think about it? Like, everyone listening, at some level, you're conscious enough to even tune into the show. So give yourselves credit. Like, you freaking have the power and the potential and that divine right to break free of all shackles. But you and you alone have to choose it. You can't keep saying you want healing and you want help, but instead of going and like investing in a healer to help you bar and get drunk. You can't keep saying, oh, I want to be better. I want to be a better person. But you go and invest in getting fake nails and fake hair and, you know, get your outfits to get all the popularity contests while not giving any honor to your soul. We each have to wake up and realize that all that external stuff is a distraction. Even if that external stuff is spirituality and we have a sense that I am the superior spiritual being, you know, I studied with certain beings and they trained in India. Who gives a shit? Like, honestly, if you are in a state of alignment, you show up with one face, you show up authentically, you extend love and honor to all, period. If you're showing up in different ways and you think you're in a hierarchy, you think that you're above others looking down, if you're talking trash about people that aren't in your little clubs, your alignment, and really it's not those people that you're not accepting into your club, it might hurt them temporarily if they're not awake enough. They might actually feel like you've triggered something in them and they feel a response to that pain, which will be an opportunity for them to heal and clear. But in essence, you're really hurting yourselves. You're enslaving yourselves by believing in this bullshit that you feed yourselves, and that society feeds you, and the magazines feed you, and the media feeds you. It's all this like popularity contest crap that is never going to free any of you. And so I'm going to pause for a second because I was going for a minute and see if anybody has any comments or questions, or can you relate to what I'm saying? Or you're just like, you know what, Tanya, I do not like what you're saying. Just what would you like to say? Bring it. Anybody writing in, Amnon?
Nope. That's it.
Okay. So go ahead, guys. I would really like to hear from you. And even if you don't agree, bring it. I love that. I love to hear how you feel, and then we can process that together. So if there's something you're really processing and you're kind of, you know, moving through something, share it. I would love to help you with that, and I'd love to listen to what you feel. Okay, on that note, I'm going to read the rest of this page. When a human is in pain, they offer emotions of frustration, worry, anger, or fear. And when I'm talking about pain, it's any pain. If you feel like, I recently went through a separation, and I have great compassion for the one that was my husband at one time. I feel compassion for what he's going through. I feel compassion for his pain. At the same time, I do not feel any part of me that feels I deserve to be lashed out at or disrespected or mistreated ever. And so the pain could be an emotional pain, or it could be pain physically. Like maybe you're healing from a sickness and you feel deep pain from that sickness. Maybe it's a emotional pain connected to you're going to high school and all the kids bully you and they pick on you and you feel pain. Whatever that feeling of pain is, we can tune in and process that, and we can lean into it, and we can heal it and transcend it through our awareness, not through rejection, not through denial, and not through lashing out. If you're a kid at school getting bullied and you go bully others, how the hell does that shit make any sense? If you're somebody that's been hurt, you're emotionally wounded and sensitive because you're not feeling you're enough, and then you treat someone else like they're nothing, how is that the path to healing? It doesn't make any sense. And so when I see like Christian groups that they're, trying to feed everyone this whole thing about their religious group being superior, but then they're being hateful to people that are gay, or people that, aren't acting just like they think they should act, and so they ostracize them or shame them, degrade them. How is that exactly a recipe for healing? And when I come back to it myself, I'm not religious at all, but I was raised around it, and my soul feels a sense of Christ consciousness. I embody that fully. And I feel like Christ was quite a warrior. I feel like he really was speaking truth to people and helping wake up the masses. He was a miracle worker. He was an awakened being that was trying his best to help people come to a space of love and acceptance. And so when he's talking to him about love your neighbor, don't try to get the log or the stick out of somebody's eye when you've got, get the speck out of someone else's eye when you have a log in your own eye. Like, really, I feel like people need to pay attention to these messages, because in essence, all those messages that Christ consciousness was extending were looking inward, going back with self, connecting and being one with your source, with your I don't really believe source is a father, but if you believe in that God sense of a masculine or feminine God, go for it. Tune into that oneness within yourself,